Hello, Internet, and thank you very much for helping me get to 5,000 subscribers. That's quite a lot compared to, just a couple of years ago. So, really, thank you very much. So, I thought, let's do something different. Let's do something a little bit special. And you can probably see here, I've got Black 2 loading up. So, we're going to be looking on a few different games here. I've got a few stuff down here. Hopefully, this is going to be a fun video. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it. And seeing as I have got quite a few new subscribers, I suppose it's a bit of a history. I think this is going to be looking through some of my past teams, and I'm actually looking forward to this myself because I'm basically planning on looking through some saved games that I've got on here and on X and on Ruby. So games from the 13 and 14 and 15. Don't think we'll bother with 16 format. Just to have a look through the history, really. Incidentally, Multi-Battle League is going back to one game a week on the weekend, so watch out for that. But we're going to start off with VGC 13. So, I'd got 9th at Worlds in that year, 2013, and after Worlds, I played in the NPA with the Seafoam Islanders, and we won the whole thing. And I do believe the one game, because you can only save one game on Black 2, is my last game of the best of 3 from the NPA. So let's see if we can find the where's the versus recorder. Here it is. Let's have a look at it. These games, I'm not going to have watched them for a long time either, so this is actually going to be pretty interesting for me too. Let's see what we've got. My video. That is my wonderful team. This is against Matty, yeah, of Italy. Matty that year had competed at Worlds. I think he might have won Modern Nationals that year. And this was in the final of the NPA. So this was the last of the best of 3. I think they had gone to a 3rd game right now. But look at this. Isn't this cool? What is going to happen? Okay, Brilliant Protect. And Thunderous uses Hidden Power. Okay, so I used Hidden Power Flying Thunderous that year. Conkelda, if I didn't take Cresselia, was actually quite a bit of a problem. Rock Slide, this is really weird. And Ice Punch into the Brillium. Okay, so I called that turn right. This is so weird, you could put grass types to sleep. Rage Powder didn't, wasn't ignored by grass types, all that lot too. Gems existed. So this Electric Gem Thunderbolt does a lot to this incoming Latios with a critical hit there. Okay. And actually, if my memory is serving me right, this is actually quite a big turn. Because he knocks out my Thunderous, but I flinch there. I was putting probably his Landorus to sleep there. So that was big, because he would have had a guaranteed sleep turn next turn. I would have got my Cresselia in nice and safe like this. Actually, Cresselia, looking at the 3 we've seen so far, looks really good here. Conkelda, Latios, and the Landorus too. So expecting like an Icy Wind to come out. A Spore into the Latios, okay. And I do Icy Wind. I suppose I put him in the position where either he eats an Icy Wind in knocking my Brillium out, or he protects and my Brillium doesn't get knocked out. Okay. Lumberry Conkelda. And Calm Mind Cresselia. Good old Calm Mind Cresselia. Okay, Ice Punch is going to knock the Brillium out, obviously. So, 2013 was a fantastic year for me. It was my breakthrough year, I suppose. I top cut all 3 European Nationals and got my Worlds invite. Got 9th at Worlds. What more could you ask for, really, in your first proper year playing VGC? I mean, it looks like I'm in a decent position, actually, right now, doesn't it? So how is this going to go wrong for us? Latios outspeeding the Terrakion is a bit of a problem. Yeah. But Cresselia looks okay here. Quite interesting that he went for a Mach Punch into the Terrakion as well. Maybe covering the potential Focus Sash on Terrakion, which was a little bit of a thing back then. Icy Wind's going to knock both of these out. I'm at +1. So what's he got? He's got Landorus. Landorus, which should be asleep if I didn't flinch with the Brillium. And we will see one more Pokemon. What's it going to be? Landorus and Heatran. Yeah, so that's the worst thing that I could have seen here. In 2015, I did actually move to Hidden Power Ground on Cresselia, in which case Cresselia would have been pretty good here. This Cresselia, I believe, has got Hidden Power Fire, because Scizor was a bit more popular back then, and it was a big problem. But at this point, I suppose maybe the game isn't over if this Icy Wind could have knocked the Landorus out, and actually it does, with a critical hit. I've got leftovers, but even if I can't mind up, I suppose I would need to rely on Heat Wave misses here. So I actually do end up losing this game. So that's not very good, is it? That the one game I've got saved on my Black 2 is a loss. But you know, the Seafoam Islanders, my team, we did end up winning the NPA this year. This was the final, so you know, I can't really complain about this. It's just interesting to look back on this. I really love this team, even now. The whole Lipard Brillium thing. And that is really, you know, why I've got Lipard really everywhere, like as my logo. Just because in that first year, I did so well with a Lipard. Didn't bring it in this game, but oh dear. But still, nice to see these Pokemon going around. What else have we got then? Let's go to VGC 14 next. Let's have a look on my X version, because I'm sure I've got some games stored on here that are going to be quite interesting for us to have a look at. What have we got? So 2014 didn't go too well for me. The Nationals didn't do... I top cut the UK National, but I didn't do that well overall. I did win the Nugget Bridge Invitational in 2014, which was like the biggest, you know, most prestigious, you know, online tournament at that time. But let's have a look. Let's see if we can find some games to have a look at. What have we got? Where's our thing? Have I passed it? Versus recorder. Here it is. I use my X to actually do a lot of my breeding on. I'd never really bred on a Mega Ruby. I did a lot of breeding on X though. Let's go all the way back to the beginning and we'll work our way forward. If we see any interesting games, then we'll have a look at them. What have we got then? So who's... Oh, okay. So the first games I got saved on here are actually against Wolfe. I'm sure he won't mind me showing these. Right at the beginning of the VGC 14 format, he asked me for a best of 3, basically. He wanted to test out some things like this Executor, and he wanted to test out Arbok as well. And I actually was using Mr. Mime. So when Wolfe went and did, you know, really well in that regional with a Mr. Mime, he actually got the idea after this best of 3. I actually gave him one of these Mr. Mime to breed with too. But I think I remember who wins this game, but I can't remember exactly what happened in them. But we'll see what happens. Animations are turned off, so you know, it's not going to drag on too long. But Arbok, because like VGC 14 was such a restricted format compared to 13, Arbok was one of the sort of few Pokemon with Intimidate that Wolfe obviously thought was usable. I was using Charizard. I actually went Charizard X here as well, which no one was using at that time, because this was right at the beginning of the VGC 14 format. So, Arbok's protecting. He switches into Rotom. And I Dragon Dance, okay. So, that's nice. And actually, yeah, Mr. Mime was one of the very, very, very few Pokemon that learned Icy Wind that was somewhat viable in VGC 14. So, Psychic onto the Arbok, that's nice. Ooh, a Glare into my Charizard. And a Light Screen, okay. Black Sludge. Interesting game so far. So Dragon Claw does take out the Arbok. He can't glare me anymore. And we're just going to Icy Wind again on the Rotom. Icy Wind really is one of my favourite moves. You know, Icy Wind was so good on Cresselia the year before. So I did really want to test out Mr. Mime, because it really was one of the few things that learned Icy Wind in the 14 format. It can do some nice other things too, like Quick Guard and Wide Guard, etc. So a Dragon Claw into the Rotom. Nice read, I suppose you could say there. And Icy Wind again. I'm just sitting here Icy Winding endlessly. And he Thunderbolts into the Mr. Mime, which doesn't do too much. Okay. So he's using Charizard Y. My X is at +1 speed though, still, so should be faster than everything. Yeah, so still not... This is really, really cool to see, actually, these old games. Not watched these for years. Dragon Claw does a lot of damage. Heat Wave. I was probably going for another icy win there. I suppose I really could have gone for a wide guard if I really wanted to, but it wasn't really necessary. Critical hit. And in comes Tyranitar. Okay. Tyranitar was like the big counter to Charizard Y, I suppose, in VGC 14. Okay, withdraws the Rotom though. He's feeling like the Rotom is more important, obviously, for some reason. Here's the Executor. Hope it's going to do something. Well, it takes a Dragon Claw and eats a Citrus Berry. And he still Heat Waves, which isn't going to do anything. And I Dragon Dance up on my Tyranitar as well. You can see I liked my Dragon Dance that year. What else have we got then? Okay, so we've only got 2 turns left. This game's pretty much over. Yeah, we can just Dragon Claw Crunch and the game's over at this point, so we don't have to watch the rest of that. Let's have a brief look at the second game, just to see how that went. And then I'll show you some different stuff as well. There is, one of the earliest version, really, of my Nugget Bridge Invitational winning team is still one of my sort of teams that I look back on really fondly. So I'll show you that team next, I think. You'll see why I remember it fondly. But this game, okay, so I lead exactly the same. Go with Charizard. He has Rock Slide, so it's probably a Scarf Mamoswine then. Mr. Mime flinches. Great. And he burns me. But at least, I suppose, if I'm presuming it is choice locked, I can just wide guard. I'm expecting now. So, Mr. Mime, again, this was at the beginning of the 14 format. No one had used Mr. Mime. Absolutely no one. So, I don't know if he expected the wide guard or not. Probably not. So, I could just wide guard and Dragon Dance up because Charizard X is pretty good against the Rotom there. Yeah, so Wolfe's learning the glory of Mr. Mime here, I guess. So Mamoswine switches, Arbok comes in again, so he brought Arbok again for some Intimidates and possible Glares. Wide guard to be safe. Dragon Claw into the Arbok too. And the Thunderbolt into the Mr. Mime. It was a funny year, 14. New game. It's going to be like 14. I think it's going to have like a similar feel to what maybe VGC 17 will have, because new games, new Pokemon, new abilities. Things like Aegislash was brand new back then, and a completely different format as well. So it's definitely going to be interesting. This new Sun and Moon format. Hopefully, I can get my head around it quicker than I did the 14 format. But I brought my Rotom in this game. Okay, so he's just trying to cycle some Intimidates now. And a Flare Blitz into the Arbok. Okay. I suppose that's one of the worst things about Charizard X is, in terms of physical fire attacks, you've got Flare Blitz where you're doing like massive damage, but you're doing a lot of recoil to yourself, and you've got Fire Punch, which just isn't really that powerful as well. That's one of the things really that I had against physical Groudon as well, in that its physical fire attacks are really just Fire Punch, which, although yes, it's really powerful, because Groudon is really powerful, but, 75, it's not the biggest number, is it really? So what's happening in this game then? Executor's coming out. Okay. Good old Executor. Finally got an Executor in Pokemon Go. So there you go. With Zen Headbutt and Solar Beam as well. So quite happy with that one. So this game is going to be a little bit closer. What else have I got in the back? If I've got my Tyranitar here, then things can work a little bit. Sandstream, this is so interesting. Like, so many things that people have just sort of forgotten or disregarded in this VGC 16 format that we've just had, like, Sandstorm numbers and, even just building a balanced team that has, like, resistances and, like, nothing that, nothing on you, at least one resistance to something. That's what I'm trying to say. The type chart has kind of gone out of the window in some ways in the VGC 16 format because things sit hit so powerful, even if it's not super effective or even resisted. So it's definitely gonna. I'm looking forward to the new format, definitely. But I'm pretty sure I've won this game. Yeah, he's only got his Executor left. It's burnt. It is in a sandstorm, but I'm sure it's got Harvest. Maybe he had Chlorophyll. He did have the Charizard. We'll see. Yeah, he has got Harvest, so he's trying to stall me out or something here. But he can't win this. And yeah, he protects. The next turn after this is the last turn of this game. I'll show you that really cool team that I really actually liked. So before, I think it was like the weekend before the first European National of 2014, I used this team that I'm going to show you in one of the Nugget Bridge lives, and it had lots of really big players entering this tournament because it was the one just before the first National, and I actually won the Nugget Bridge live. Let me see if I can show you the team. I've got all sorts of random games saved here, haven't I? Here we go. This was it, with the Jumpluff and Lipard. Yeah, oh, game against Liar, Drug Duck, Dawes, Matty. I'll show you this one. Just because, I mean, this is the first version of my Nugget Bridge Invitational team. That was the Lipard Azumarill, Raichu Azumarill one. This team had Raichu, Azumarill, and Talonflame and Tyranitar, but instead of Amoonguss and Aegislash, I had Lipard and Jumpluff because I really loved this pair. Jumpluff has got okay, Sleep Powder into the Scarfed Salamence. It's got the wide lens, so its moves are 10% more accurate. I swagger into this Garchomp, expecting a Lumberry. Don't care if it's a Lumberry, because I can Foul Play. So this is a Swagger Jumpluff with Foul Play Lipard. And, you know, before Nationals, this team did just pick apart the metagame at that time. I really loved this team. The problems where Sleep Powder's accuracy is still at like 82% is not fantastic, to be honest. But you can see how much fun I had with this team. It's so, like, at this point I was still trying to sort of replicate my VGC 13 team in a way, I guess. So, okay, so we sleep Powder the Kangaskhan. But you can see how oppressive this pair were of Lipard and Jumpluff. Okay, so it wakes up there and knocks out my Jumpluff. But I suppose by the time the Nugget Bridge Invitational came around, and even UK National, which is the one that I top cut, I got a bit more serious with this team, and I went to Amoonguss instead of Jumpluff, and I eventually ended up with Aegislash instead of Lipard. But you know, I just love fun teams like this, teams that I suppose, and it is reflected in my VGC 16 teams that are pretty high risk, high reward, I guess. Very prediction heavy. Mega Tyranitar, again, that's not something you see very often, is it? So I taunt that, expecting like a Will-O-Wisp or something, and just get a Dragon Dance up on them. So you can see, like, Dragon Dance, Geomancy, Sleep. You can see how my style kind of works. It's interesting to see this, like, even years ago. I'm wearing the 14 World shirt there. I've actually got the Pikachus behind me. I'll show you. Okay, here's the 13 Pikachu. There we go. And I'll show you the other Pikachus when we get to those years as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed this team. Not many people had actually used Azumarill at this point as well. This team really was the beginning of Raichu Azumarill, and really ended in the Nugget Bridge Invitational team. And after that, loads of people started using it. So, as soon as Azumarill got the Fairy typing and Play Rough and Belly Drum and Aqua Jet being, compatible together as well, it just made it such a completely different monster of a Pokemon. But at this point, I'm pretty sure I've won the game here. I could probably just Aqua Jet and Crunch, to be honest, I think. Yeah, probably trying to Aqua Jet or something there. Alright, Sucker Punch rather. I don't Aqua Jet, which is interesting. Maybe I wasn't sure if it would knock it out or not, but oh well. We win that way instead. What else have we got in here then? I'm pretty sure I've got the Nugget Bridge Invitational videos still saved on here, but I don't need to show you those because that they are all actually uploaded on my channel. It was actually this Nugget Bridge Invitational in 2014 that I started this YouTube channel with. I uploaded all of these games, so my very first videos are of this team. So go and look back at it. Look back at that if you want to. What else have we got? Have we got anything else interesting here, or shall we just move on to something else? Let's just move on to something else, I think. Let's go and have a look at VGC 15 then. Let's get my VGC 15. That was on Omega Ruby, wasn't it? Yeah. So let's have X. Let's pop you in. And let's start up Ruby. So, VGC 15, that was in Boston. And there's Pikachu from that year. Pikachu. And let's see what we've got saved in the archive, if anything, actually. I'm not sure I'll have any games, to be honest. So, backed up here. I'm sure we'll find something interesting to look at. I hope you're enjoying this. I mean, I've not looked back on these, so this is, interesting for me too. What have we got then? Okay, let's go all the way back to the beginning. This is the Arnhem Regional. So 2015 started really well for me then. Europe had its very first ever regional level tournament, which I won in the Netherlands. So really good start to the tournament. Again, all of these regional games are on my channel as well, so I won't show you any of these here. What else have we got then? Ooh, I can see. Oh, that's 16. Have I not got any 15 games saved then? This is an interesting team. What was I using here? With Aegislash and Volcarona and Lapid and Brillium. Let's play this one. I seem to remember this guy with the Steelix. This is a 13 turn game. I seem to remember this guy was German, and this game was actually really, really, really interesting. So I'll show you it, and let's see if my memory is correct. Let's see if this is interesting or not. So, Mega Steelix as well. Not something you see every day. Really not something you see every day. So, okay. Interesting move there. To just double protect. Okay, he Earthquakes. So I suppose it worked out for me. And is withdrawing Ludicolo. What are we going to see then? I suppose I can just Wide Guard and Quiver Dance up here. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. See, Barrier of the Past, I know what you're doing. I know what you're up to. So, this Volcarona is looking really threatening to him, but he's got Ludicolo, he's got the Klefki as well, which goes for a Rain Dance, which means this Ludicolo is now faster than my Volcarona. Ooh, we actually missed that Heat Wave as well. I'm not sure if that's important or not, but don't know. Okay, and Light Screen. So, ooh. Okay, he called that turn really well. He got the burn there too. You can see why this is going to be quite a long game. But let's see. Okay, Shadow Ball into that. That has to be an Assault Vest, Ludicolo, looking at that damage. Really. But he switches it out. Okay, so maybe he doesn't think he can knock my Volcarona out here. Put Steelix back in. Maybe he's expecting my Volcarona to switch out. What's this thing? That's Meowstick. Ooh, that's a Heat Wave miss on the Steelix. That's nasty. Okay. I seem to have called that turn correctly. Protecting again. And he's swaggering my Aegislash. Ooh. And we hit ourselves. Okay, that's not good. What have I got in the back, though? I had Liput and Breloom in the back, didn't I? So I'm putting Liput in then. Now, he might have Quick Guard, which could be really nasty. But he just goes for a Swagger. Swagger's onto our Volcarona. But we have got Lumberry, which is nice. Heat Wave doesn't actually not much damage to that Steelix. We are in the rain, and not anymore. We were in the rain, and I'm pretty sure he's got the light screen up, hasn't he? So that is bulky. Foul Play does knock out the Meowstic. And in comes the Ludicolo again. Okay, Steelix is switching out again. This guy's making a lot of switches. Back into the Klefki. Fake out into the Volcarona. And attempted to encore the Steelix there. We get the encore again. He doesn't mess around with that. But the Rain Dance is kind of in vain here. Although it'll make the Steelix a bit more resistant to these fire attacks, he can't attack with the Ludicolo now. And actually he stays in. And yeah, and just gets encored into everything now. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this game's over at this point, but I seem to remember that this was quite an interesting game, so you know, thought I'd show it, why not? I seem to be lacking on VGC 15 games, apparently. Apparently I just didn't save any of them. And, ooh, he fake tears into the Steelix, which means that we do knock it out in the rain. That's pretty cool. Yeah, nice one. So we definitely have won this game now. Yeah, we have still got Breloom in the back. So the game wouldn't have been lost, I suppose, if we missed that heat wave. But, yeah, that's quite interesting. I think I've got a game from the... did I see it? Yeah, here. This is in the 16 format, but it is before we moved over onto the 16 rule set, if you see what I mean. So this is like an early version of my Gravity team, but in the VGC 15 format. And this is actually against Zog. This is in one of the Premier Challenges that we went to. This is a 14-turn game as well, so this is actually quite a long one as well. But let's see what happens. Let's see how Gravity, you know, an early version of my Gravity team works in the VGC 15 format. So this is a really familiar lead, but in the wrong format. So I'm interested to see how this works out. I seem to remember it was a close game, but let's see. So I just go straight for Gravity and Hypnosis onto the Amoonguss. That was Icy Wind. Okay. So he's trapped in now, and the Amoonguss is asleep. I put my Whimsicott in, okay. And Gengar is still faster than the Milotic, which is nice. Amoonguss is still asleep. Okay, so Fake Tears, yeah. So this early version, Fake Tears and Hex, wow, that'll one-shot most things, really. Yeah, this version of the Gravity team had Fake Tears on this Whimsicott just to help the Gengar sweep through a bit more. In the 16 version, we have still got Grass Whistle. In the 16 version, the team was geared a bit more towards getting the Groudon sweep, but in this version, with Fake Tears, it kind of helped Gengar get the sweeps going as well. And yeah, -2 Hex on a status target, wow, that just obliterates the Heatran there. But goes for another Icy Wind. Gengar's at -2 speed now, and Whimsicott's Sash is broken. And Gravity ends. And he's got a Salamence, actually, so this is going to get interesting now. What have we got in the back? Have we still got our... We've got a Zoomer, haven't we? But we've still got this Sableye around as well. I think this Sableye had Quash on it as well. I can't exactly remember. So I'll Protect, yeah. Get the switch in. And ooh, Recover. Okay, so this is why there's quite a few more turns left. Okay, so switching to reset the speed drops. Azumarill might be taking a lot of damage here, though. So I probably thought long and hard about that turn. Ooh, he Earthquakes. Okay. Zog using an Earthquake Salamence. Definitely interesting. Okay, so we taunt, so it can't... Which one did we taunt? There's merit in taunting both of them, to be honest. Yeah, we taunted the Salamence, so it can't protect, I suppose, so that we could get the switch into Gengar and go from there. But actually, with that burn, we are down to just 2-on-2 right now. We have got Gravity up, I think. I think we got Gravity back up, didn't we? And we've got Whimsicott and Gengar back in. So let's see if these two can pull through here. Mega Gengar is faster. Oh, maybe we taunted the other one then. And yeah, just Sleep Move and Sleep Move. Yeah, at this point, anything that protects we can just Encore. And Hex does slightly disappointing damage to the Milotic. Well, yeah, it was the Milotic that taunted. Was taunted. Ooh, yeah. So we fake tears. It doesn't matter that it's got competitive because at this point it's going to get knocked out. And now we just need to take care of this Salamence, which is not going to be a problem because I'm pretty sure we can just lock it into protect. So here you go. This is the first version of my Gravity team that evolved into the Groudon Gravity team of VGC 16, which is pretty cool to see, I think. Yeah. Get the poison there, and the game will be over. There we go. What else have we got then? Have we got any interesting 16 games on here? I'm not sure. Apparently I didn't save many 15 games, but at least I've shown you 2 of them, I suppose. What else have we got then? So this is... Ooh, what's that? Okay, I played woopaking. That's International Challenge and International Challenge. And that's just mid-season showdown stuff and other stuff. All right, to finish off, then I'll show you. I'll show you both of them. If you're bored, you can turn off, can't you? Both of these 16 games. So here's the VGC 16 World 16 Pikachu, and I do not remember it. I didn't think I'd played Boyt. Until Worlds, but apparently I did play Boyt in the International Challenge, and it looks like I'm using just like a Big Six team, so what's going to happen here is, I'm presuming he's using his, the team that he went on to win the Wakefield Regional with, so, interesting that, this could be now, couldn't it? Interesting that I led with Smirgle and Xerneas, and he goes for a feint into the Xerneas, but I go for a Follow Me, so yeah, this Smirgle isn't scarfed. Follow Me is very handy as well. And I Dazzling Gleam. I'm really surprised I didn't go for a Geomancy there. Really surprised. So bring the Talonflame back. I'm probably expecting like a feint into the Smirgle to knock it out and a Sludge Bomb. Which is exactly what happens. Oh no, a Taunt. Okay, not a Sludge Bomb, a Taunt. Brave Bird does take the right shot from here. I'm going to try and get a cheeky Geomancy even though he just taunted me. Let's see. He taunts me. Yes. I tried for the Geomancy. But yeah, Mega Rayquaza hasn't Mega Evolved here, so for this turn, Xerneas is still outspeed, so I'm actually still in a pretty good position here, I'd say. Talonflame is actually really good, in this format. Partnering with Xerneas. You can see how Big Six was such a dominant archetype for so long. Protects as it Mega Evolves, it kind of had to. Brave Bird into the Gengar, because its Sash is broken, it was a free Brave Bird, I suppose. But the worry now is, I mean, I can't Geomancy, so I'm presuming I'm just Moonblasting here. The worry now is, how do I take care of both of these two? My Xerneas will be EV to take a Dragon Ascent, so he did just Protect. Xerneas will be faster than his Kyogre. Surely he just attacks into my Xerneas and I Moonblast him back and I win the game, surely. Unless anything bad happens here. Again, I hope Boyt doesn't show me, doesn't mind me showing this game back from very early VGC 16. Yeah, so we do survive that Dragon Ascent, which is, yeah, has to be Life Orbed with that damage. And yeah, Moonblast to knock it out. So it's not Assault Vest at this point. And I've got some things in the back that can presumably in Tailwind finish off this Kyogre, I guess. So yeah, so VGC 15. I went to Worlds, got through day 1, played in day 2. I went positive, 4-3 in day 2. So not quite as good as 9th at Worlds in 13, unfortunately. This year, VGC 16, I used a Smirgle Xerneas team with Volcarona and lots of fun stuff like that, and came 7th at Worlds, which I'm sure you know by now as well. And we go for a Dark Void but miss. Wide Guard. I obviously thought Wide Guard was safer than a Dark Void. I could have gone for a Dark Void there, but it's a 20% chance of it missing. And he actually scolds into the... Wow. I could have thrown the game there by trying to be extra safe. I expected him to go for like an Origin Pulse or a Water Spout or something, so I Wide Guarded instead of Dark Voiding. So that was interesting. But interesting, we actually won that game actually as well. And last one then, because we've been going on for a while, woopaking. At this point, he was the reigning senior world champion, and this was from the international challenge as well. This team I was using is obviously the same. Actually, it's the same team that I was using against Boyt just now, but this is this was my first Rayquaza Xerneas team. Look at that. So I suppose in a way it was this team that morphed into the Worlds team that I got 7th with at Worlds this year. So this is interesting. This Rayquaza is really weird though. I like how I just Geomancy in front of both of these two as well. But I know I do have a fire move on this Rayquaza, but I don't go for it. Wow. Sacred Fire Sign gets the burn in my Xerneas, and he Gyro Balls into my Rayquaza. Okay, so I must have been assuming he would anticipate my fire move. That was a really strange move to go for there. But now he's protecting to get some burn damage and a Dragon Ascent again. I must have been really trying to call this bluff, thinking that he was going to protect the Ferrothorn there, which he did do. Am I going to go for a fire move this time? I do, yeah. So, actually, I seem to remember... I think I was talking to Mark, woopaking, and he said that like because he saw Water Pulse and Dragon Ascent, he assumed I didn't have a fire attack or something, which I did, and it worked out for us here. That Rayquaza was Expert Belt, which is weird, but it was early in the meta game and I was trying things out. So we've got a Geomancer Xerneas, but he can, I suppose he can try and fake out. We have got our Talonflame out. I'm going to Quick Guard and Moonblast. No, we just Brave Bird into the Ho-Oh. And Moonblast. Okay. Surely we've won the game at this point then. Okay. Well, that was an interesting turn of events. A little bit anticlimactic, I suppose. Wonder why he didn't fake out there. He must have been anticipating my Quick Guard. I guess. That has to be it. Okay, so we've got a few turns left of this, but like I was saying at the beginning of this video, thank you very much, guys. 5,000 subscribers. I didn't think I'd get here, honestly. But let's see where we can go in the future. Let's see how far we can get this channel going. I hope if you are one of my, loyal subscribers of many, many years, or however long I've been doing this channel, I hope you've enjoyed this video, just having a bit of a fun look back on some of these old teams and whatnot. I've quite enjoyed this actually too. If you're a new subscriber, then hope you've learned a little bit about my past teams and past years that I've competed at Worlds and everything. Wide Guarding, okay. Are these my last two Pokemon? But we're almost at 40 minutes now. We've looked at some games. This is pretty much ending. Wide Guard was the right move to go for there. So thank you very much, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, 5,000. Fantastic. So cheers. It's really, really appreciated. Thank you and goodbye for now.